baby. Welcome to the back of the classroom. This is real. And I'd like to start off by saying check out Magical Pose. They're in partnership with the back of the classroom. You can find them on Instagram, Magical Pose, MAGICALPOSE. It's Magical Pose. And their website, magicalpose.com, MAGICALPOSE.com. Magical Pose is a clothing line for men, women, and most teens. Check them out. And feel free and support black businesses. And keep in mind, due to COVID, shipping delays will range from 7 to 14 days after processing. You'll get 2 emails. The first email will be a confirmation with the receipt. The second email is when it is shipped with tracking information. I personally like the shirts. Great material, feels good on your skin. The material doesn't crack or peel after you wash it. Which I find a lot of products actually do that. So it's good to find, good quality material. Jacket's nice, form fitting. Book bag is cool, nice pockets. Interior design is decent. So check it out and let me know what y'all think. I want to thank everybody who's donated. That's definitely helped toward the buying of equipment, the research, and the advertisements. Me being able to share it and get this out there to the masses. I want to thank everybody who's liked, comment, reposted, shared, saved to queue it up for later. All of those things help grow the platform and spread awareness. The more likes, comments, and reposts, the more people see it, the more visual it becomes on these platforms when it comes to the algorithm. So thank you for the likes. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for sharing it. I check out the comments. I check out, how I'm doing to see how, I'm being received to the people. And I like the feedback. Thank you. Anybody who want to donate, you can send your contributions to Cash App. $KINGREL 333. That's on the app Cash App. $KINGREL 333. Anybody want to reach out to me via social media, you can get me on Twitter, KingRel333, KINGREL333. Facebook, Rel Jackson, REL space Jackson, JACKSON. Instagram, Rel Jackson, RELJACKSON, no space. YouTube, Rel Jackson, RELJACKSON. And let's get into it. We're going to talk about lethal force. How I want to say this to you guys. There are, let's call it rules of engagement. Police officers supposed to follow. And those rules of engagement starts with their presence. Their presence should or is expected to deter and defuse any criminal activity. Now they should, for the most part, just be standing there, looking around, observing, enjoying the weather, doing patrol. And this is supposed to be done professionally and non-threatening. They're just present. Most people walking around, sightseeing, seeing things, just being present. That's first. So once they're on the clock and step outside the precinct, that's presence. So that's one. Once they're there, presence is already established. Then there's verbal. So if there is a reason they have to talk to you, it's supposed to start off calm and non-threatening. So if let's say they stop you while driving, we won't say for what. The conversation should, do you know why I stopped you? Do you know why I pulled you over? License and registration. Calm, professional, clear to understand. Now, once they give feedback or if they just skip that step, There's an escalated version to that, which is an increase in volume and shorter commands to gain compliance. Stop, freeze, do this, do that. And it's very short, it's very aggressive, and there's nothing that actually says they can't curse. Or, the language that they use isn't, you know, more or less not professional. In fact, after being present, nothing about what they do is supposed suggests professional. So the third wave or third rule of engagement is empty hand control. They got a soft techniques which consists of grabs, holds, and joint locks to restrain. So the minute they put hands on you, they're already at the third wave. Then they got hard techniques, punches and kicks. So once they put hands on you, their goal is to maneuver your body in whichever way they want so they can do what they want. And the minute you resist, they will punch and kick because their punching and kicking is just a way to subdue someone. You want to weaken them, you want them to fight less. So once they don't feel resistance, once they feel like they can move you however they want to move you, I believe the hard technique should stop. It's not like you're being jumped in or you're in a street fight, and once you're knocked out, they're gonna keep kicking and punching you because they're just full of rage and frustration. Then you have the fourth wave, which is the less lethal method. You got blunt impacts, which is baton and projectiles. Back in the day, they had nightsticks. Projectiles could be like the bean bags they shoot out the shotguns, the paintball, the airsoft devices or tools that they use. Then they have chemical sprays and projectiles containing chemicals. So that's your pepper sprays, and then the projectiles containing chemicals is like your tear gas. They shoot that, shoots in the air, it comes down, and you got smoke coming out of it. And they also have the smoke, I guess, to blind certain people, keep them from able to catch a target. And then you have your conducted energy devices, high volts, low amp. Obviously, those are your stun guns, something that, they can tase you from afar. Obviously, they don't want to get electrocuted themselves. If you're close enough to touch them, that electricity goes through you into them. And then the fifth wave is lethal force. And that's only supposed to be used if there's a serious threat to the officer or another individual. Now, believe it or not, this information can be found on the National Institute of Justice website. And it's nij.ojp.gov. Mind you, through all the research I've done, again, professional only came up when it came to their presence. Nothing was said about professionalism when they were verbal. It just said non-threatening. Non-threatening, I curse at you. That's not a threat. I just cursed. It's a word. Get over it. People got to stop being so sensitive because you can't tell somebody how to talk to you. The only thing you can control is how you respond and what you respond to. That is what you control. Can't control people. That's why, obviously, the officers have to use soft and hard techniques when it comes to controlling a person, because if verbiage was enough, if me asking or telling you to do something, you would just do it, there'd be no need for an empty hand control or a less lethal method. Obviously, if you don't listen to authority, the average person, they're not, there's no making somebody do something. If that was the case, there'd be no need for the third and fourth or fifth wave. So as you understand the steps that are taken before it gets to the last one, at no point in time are they to consult anyone before going through the next step or the next level. That's what their training is for. You do this, if this don't happen, you do that, if that don't happen, and you work your way up. Not for nothing, there might be situations where someone might just show up and go straight to 5, depending on what the situation is. They're just rules of engagement. And depending on what the situation is, based on how they feel, how they process the information, how they see it, will determine how they react or act. So if they didn't come at you and they ain't got the guns drawn, hey, listen, he might have, his one is already established because you see him. And if once he has to talk to you, if he never talks, he just opens up, pulls up to you and starts shooting. Then if it's on camera, and hopefully there can be some justice for that. But I've yet to see them not talk. There's always that exertion of authority or command to get something to happen a certain way that they want. Hell, even when they hitting you and beating you, they tell you to stop resisting. That's their way of saying, listen, let me control you the way I want to control you, and just move with it. And from what I've seen, their training could be a little bit better. I don't understand how you can lean on somebody and then say, let me get your arm. There has to be a way where you let them breathe and not have my left arm pinned to the ground, but somebody on my left side also leaning on me, and then you're telling me to give you my left hand. I obviously can't. Your guy is on me, so tell him to get off me so I can maneuver to give you my arm. Or better yet, my arm is free for you, but your guy's leaning on my elbow, which is preventing my arm from coming to you. It's like you're jumping me. You're holding me down and pinning me and keeping me from moving, but telling me to stop resisting. Sometimes the easiest thing to do is get in a position that they need you in so that they can't say you're resisting. Hey, I already put my hands behind my back, or my hands is up. You want this? Bang, you got it. And just move with it. This way, there's no reason to pin you down. I remember back in the day, the cops came, you put your hands up and you leaned on a wall. Assume the position. Quickest thing to do to deter them from causing bodily harm from you from the jump. Or sometimes you put your hands up, top of your head, cross your fingers, and then you spread your legs apart. I'm not going to run. I'm not going to do nothing. And sometimes they say, oh, you ain't going to do all that. I say, listen, I don't know what's going on right now. I'm making sure you safe and I'm safe. And we keep that energy, because at the end of the day, if they say they're scared to do their job, I'm going to make it less scared, because I don't know. There's no sign on you that says, hey, I'm scared today, or I'm scared of you. There's no way of knowing that until they actually get close up on you and then they start being aggressive. So once they start doing that, I've never seen anybody argue their way out of any type of police interaction. A lot of times they got to sort things out and see what's what and talk amongst themselves before doing something. Or they already locked you up and put you in the back of the car, or let you sit on the curb and then they walk away and talk to a couple of people, whether the radio, the phone, or in person, before they kick you loose or do something. It's never you and that officer having a conversation and then him saying, okay, you can go. I was wrong. You got it. Never seen it. If it happens, it's never been shown for me to see. So I need everyone to just, be aware of those steps. Be aware of what you're doing. Be aware of what's going on around you. Because the minute they feel like something is up, they will take it to the level they feel like they need to take it to. Now, let's have an understanding of what lethal force is. Lethal force is physical force when, under circumstances in which it is used, is readily capable of causing death or serious physical injury. It's lethal force. Now, for your regular day people, including officers, but more so toward the regular civilians, in order for it to be justified, it has to be immediate. Otherwise, unavoidable threat of death or grave bodily harm to yourself or other innocents. So if you're standing still and you're not close to them, you don't pose a threat to them or anyone else. Same thing for regular civilians. If a person is not in an area that you control, that's yours, or they're not trespassing and they're just outside and they're not a threat, there's no justification for lethal force. Now, for us regular civilians, for us people who's outside, not given authority by government or law, lethal force is illegal unless it is for self defense, defense of a third party, crime prevention. Here's the kicker: law enforcement. So, law enforcement gets a pass. We'll talk about the first three. Self defense. You can't swing first and then call self defense because they're going to say you escalated the situation. You escalated it. Before it became physical, it was probably just words, or it was probably close proximity, in which case you would ask somebody to give you 3 feet. But in 2020, we got COVID, so you can ask for 6 feet. So 6 feet, I need you to give me 6 feet of distance, make it loud, and you walk away. Defense of a third party. That's pretty much you defending. The situation has nothing to do with you. It's two people having an altercation. One of the people you feel is either innocent or the non-aggressor, and then that person needs assistance because that person is either not fighting back and or incapable of defending themselves. You know, they put their hands up and try to be doing something, but it's not effective. So we're not going to say they're not fighting back. We're just going to say they're incapable of defending themselves. And then, in which case, let's look at unavoidable threat of death or grave bodily harm. And crime prevention. Somebody breaks into your house, lethal force. Somebody look like they're about to violate a woman's body. And let's not even say a woman's body, because it happens to men too. Believe it or not, it happens in jail. So, you know, it's very unfortunate, but that is considered bodily harm. If you're being violated, if your property, somebody breaks into your house and your kids are there, self-defense, you're preventing a crime in your own establishment. But of course, my suggestion, stick to those, because there's no such thing as vigilantes. Cops kind of, or the law frowns on that. So let's not be vigilantes. Let's just protect our property and our loved ones. And then let law enforcement defend themselves against lethal force. Never quite understood how you scared to do a job, but you signed up for it. Get your weight up. Exercise, train, learn how to talk to people. If you're in an area and you're patrolling, talk to the people. Get familiar with the people. And just, I don't know how many cops will listen to this, but it'll be as simple as know your surroundings. If you interact with the people, you're less afraid and you're more on the same page as far as understanding who's who and what's what. When I was outside, cops knew who you were. You knew who they were. You straightened up when they came around. Even if it wasn't out of respect, you did it just because you're not trying to go through it. There's too many people who feel privileged where I could do what I want to do. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Not true. But, you know, our job is to make sure we protect ourselves and we're in the best situation possible. Now, to deal with, let's have a better understanding on what a weapon is. A weapon is a thing designed, used for inflicting bodily harm or physical damage. So anything you use to cause bodily harm or physical damage is now considered a weapon. A weapon isn't a weapon until it does one or both things: bodily harm, physical damage. A tool, on the other hand, is a device and or implement, especially one held in a hand, used to carry out a particular function. So we have to, as a people, learn to have an ability to maintain our tools, use our tools in the proper way. So you need the right tool for the job. Got to use gloves, face shield, cover your eyes, nose, and mouth because you got to protect yourself while using tools. And I'm saying tools because it's not a weapon until you cause bodily harm. Until you do physical damage or bodily harm, it's not a weapon. It's a tool. So if you're not doing anything in that manner, it's a tool. So you want to secure your tools in a sheath for those sharp objects, a holster or a box. Holster is obviously something that's on your body and it holds it, a box, or a safe, something that you can lock it and secure it when it's not on your body, so it doesn't cause any harm. We should train we should train with our tools, get more efficient at it. Whether you're gonna hunt, whether you're gonna have to protect your home or loved ones, you should be efficient with it. Most people who are most effective and accurate and precise and or just efficient overall are the ones who use their tools more frequently. So the more you use it, the better you are with it. And of course, the more you use it, you should be able to make sure you know how to clean it. And before and after use, maintenance. If it's something that comes apart, take it apart, clean the moving parts, oil it, lube it up, put it back together, check it, make sure it works properly. Otherwise, you miss something, take it back apart, put it back together, or take it to a professional to get it cleaned and get that maintenance done. And then it goes back to training with your tools. Don't be afraid to train, because what happens is the more you train, the more prepared you are. And when your heart's pumping and things are happening and it's almost like your adrenaline got you on go and your body starts to shake, the more prepared, the more trained you are, the more efficient you are at doing it, because muscle memory kicks in and you'll just do things without having to think about it. There's certain things that you have to be prepared to do without thinking. I believe the military call it a drill of sorts. And correct, I'm stand to be corrected, but I believe the idea is you should be able to perform a task without thinking in a critical moment that you have to act. And the only way you can do that is by training. So train, 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 train. The same way you could sit down and watch TV for an hour, you can train for an hour. The same way same thing with exercise. Your body is a tool that can be transformed into a weapon if need be. You can use a vacuum cleaner or a bat, anything, pencil, newspaper, anything that you can think of can be used as a weapon to inflict bodily harm or physical damage. So, first, train your body. Then, whatever you can legally own, have, use, carry, know how it works, learn its integrity, its breaking point, pressure, how and things can and should be used in order to protect yourself and others. There's, plenty of survival videos and different people, learning how to hunt. Those kids are learning how to shoot a gun. They're learning how to aim. They're learning how to take their breath. They're learning how to pace themselves. They're learning how to track. They're learning all these things that we have no concept of. People go, oh my God, he has a gun. Weapons isn't a bad thing. Military have guns, cops have guns, security guards have guns. No one is looking at them as bad people. So holding a gun doesn't make you a bad person. It's what you do with it that would classify you as a bad person. But even then, you go to court to determine if you were right or wrong or not. And the great part about that is you have rights that you can, ex- use to justify yourself in the eyes of the law once you've acted in a certain way. So don't be afraid to use lethal force when necessary. Has to be when necessary. But you also want to be trained. You don't want to make a mistake and hurt yourself or hurt the wrong person. Sometimes the cops don't come quick enough. I particularly don't care to be a victim in order to get the assistance of the police. I also don't want to have to go through a whole lot of legal situations just because I chose to defend myself because I refuse to be a victim. I think some parts of the law about that has to change. I am fully comfortable having to use lethal force if necessary. I'm definitely not going to shy away from it because I understand the law and the land in which I stand on. But those who don't, you still have to train. You still have to be prepared. Because whether you're going to run, hide, duck, block every assault that comes your way, you got to be prepared to do something. And your training is going to get you more efficient in doing that. So if your thing is guns, go to the range, practice. Plenty of videos on YouTube and social media that'll tell you proper hand grip, proper how to aim, how to breathe, how to control that tool in your equipment. Some people rather walk away from a situation. That's cool. Go out for a walk. Learn how to walk far, because sometimes somebody might just want to follow you. They might not walk as far as you walk, so you might be, walk through certain places, and that person just might give up. Go for a jog. Go for a run. Person might not run as fast or as long and far as you can. So go for a jog. Go for a run. Train yourself, because everything else you do in life requires preparation before action. If you're going to cook, you got to take the food out and prepare it before you put it in the frying pan. You don't just magically appear in the frying pan. Then again, this is the microwave age. Everybody's either going out and ordering food or Uber Eats and having it delivered to them. But that's where we're lacking. We have to stop trying everything to be instant, and we have to start preparing again. We have to start getting into the mode of preparing ourselves for the next step. We're all aware. Now we have to organize and move. And we'll end it with that. Thank you guys. See you guys later.